Unlikely Lens Podcast.
You started in the middle of a powerful yawn.
Good. Fucking good. Because that's what C9 did this weekend.
C9?
Yes.
Did this weekend? They went to sleep?
They fell asleep. Did we not watch that game? Did everyone not watch that absolute chucker of a game?
I can't believe they lost to Golden Guardians.
No, they did not lose to Golden Guardians. Most teams don't lose to Golden Guardians.
Most teams lose to themselves while Golden Guardians is there.
But do you know who they did lose to, Matt?
I do.
Who did they lose to?
One of the worst organizations that's ever been constructed. A cesspool of jungle toxicity and inability, heavily relying on one imported mid laner for the duration of their, decentness. Post Reggie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
a team who hasn't been to Worlds in 2 years.
So C9 hasn't won a championship since 2014. Just saying.
You haven't been to Worlds.
You haven't won a championship since 2014.
Who cares? Get to Worlds.
I do.
That's because it's literally all you have.
You know what? You know who doesn't care about winning championships? TL.
I don't know if they get to care right now.
They don't. No, they don't. That's about to blow up a little bit. We're gonna find out what happens during trade season, but that's getting a little ahead of ourselves. Or that's at least me getting ahead of myself.
Where's the TSM flag there? That scoreboard. Alright. So, Matt, why don't you lead us through this discussion about the TSM C9 match?
No, you do it. It's your team 1-1.
No. I like having someone else read my wins to me because it makes me feel better.
All right, Amon, you got this one.
Here, don't worry, Matt. I'm not even gonna say this as no. I'm gonna say this as your friend and also a couple other things. But that match looks like a fluke.
A fluke?
It looked like a fluke.
How is it a fluke, Prawley?
Okay, so here's the thing. When I was going through the draft once again, C9 didn't really have anything to materialize leads. They just kind of assumed that they would materialize because they're C9. That's a major drafting issue, especially when you're picking Shen in the top lane.
They had Olaf and Nautilus. What?
In the TSM versus C9 game? No.
They had Lee Sin and Leona, both also aggressive champions.
Both also very aggressive champions, and they did mess up their play there. They didn't make them look like aggressive champions at all. They were reacting the entire time. Given that they stayed up with TSM to the point of them being 6-6, but then afterwards you can see the difference within their team comps, right? Afterwards you can see, Sven has to stay still and ult while there's a Jarvan and a Set that can just pick up people and go through the back line. Leona doesn't really have a target to hit because there's a Xayah who has cleanse, right? And who else is she going to hit? The Zillion that's throwing bombs from a bit farther away, right?
Who also has cleanse.
Yeah, well...
He did not have cleanse.
He has an
ultimate.
He actually had a summoner
he has spellbook.
He had spellbook. He had unsealed spellbook. So once again, not really sometimes an issue, sometimes not an issue. And you could really see that with TSM having their fundamentals down, actually warding properly, setting up their objectives, being proactive on their plays, executing on their plans. You could see
this wasn't really about their proactivity around objectives. This was about how much better their team fighting was and how much better their coordination in them were.
I gotta say a no to that one.
What? Did you see TSM pull off a wombo combo every single team fight and absolutely eviscerate Cloud9?
It's very easy to pull off a wombo combo when you have a tank Jarvan who doesn't have to fear dying because there's a Zillion on his team, and a Set who's actually set up.
He is not the target, by the way.
No, he's the target in this instance.
And for this time, he was ulted most of the time. Yeah, that's literally what Darduck was doing. He was just starting a fight so that TSM could arrive just a little bit later and still, catch up to their carries. But there were 2 times in that match that I saw Broken Blade have his hate. I'm actually not even sure if he had his hate maker up, but died with full grit underneath the turret.
He probably didn't have Haymaker up, or he got CC'd.
He didn't get CC'd during that time. There was one time he purposely
Dude, okay,
chose
hang on.
to use his face breaker instead of using.
Has a what is that, 7.5 KDA this game. He died twice. What? You try to pull off two deaths to besmirch Broken Blade's gameplay that game? That game was crazy. He just grabbed the front line, chucked them onto the back line, and stunned 4 people multiple times, and then they comboed on top of that. That's how every team fight went.
Yeah, because then I eventually got such a huge lead that he could just do that, and it didn't matter. There was a time
TSM don't break a 2K gold lead until 22 minutes.
And before that, when they were diving licorice underneath the tower, one time when he was no, hold on. Yeah, they were diving. No, they weren't really diving the Shen. He flashed behind him, ulted him over, and then they made the mistake of committing too many ulties, which C9 punished later on.
Wait. Are you talking about the dive where he ults him out of turret?
Yes, that one.
That dive is perfect.
That dive was perfect. That's not the one that I have complaints with. The ones that I had was when he ulted a carry into. I think he actually got to Sven. He wound up between Sven and Vulcan underneath the top tier 1 turret. And instead of choosing to use a haymaker, he decided to use a facebreaker instead and then died underneath the turret. That could be a miscommunication between him and Bjerg.
The dive I'm thinking of is actually in the next game against FlyQuest.
Oh.
Legitimately true, by the way.
I did not think that TSM was pound for pound the better team.
They most certainly were. They kept up with C9 in the early game the entire time. They've kept up with almost every team in the early game every time. And then they just had better team fighting and went off of their just superior strength. And they won. And they put that into a lead.
C9 had accumulated more leads in the early game in that TSM game. And I'm not saying that they accumulated a major lead. I'm saying that they had leads in that TSM versus C9 game. The problem was that they don't have a comp.
Wait. How large do you think their lead was?
I don't think it was that much.
They didn't break 1K. C9 did not go over 1K.
Yeah, and that's the problem. They weren't able to accumulate that huge of a lead with Leona and Lee Sin. And I want to say, no, Zoe still scales pretty well into the late game, but without the vision control, she's not as much of a champion as she could be. Nizzy was still playing that very well. This wasn't TSM being the better team. This was very much them not having the tools, C9 not having the tools to execute well in the late game and make their champs work as well as they'd like to. This was a bit of a drafting oversight that they didn't expect to happen.
You're right. Haemon is just a hater.
Yes.
Oh, you're saying I'm just a hater.
Yeah, you're just a hater. TSM looked so good that game. They look crazy. And you know what makes it better is that they won the
TSM looked like
game.
ass, but Haemon is just a hater.
Alright, Matt, why did TSM look like ass? Come on.
I don't know, because it would make you mad if I said it.
Simple one.
What I think really lost C9 this game is that they picked Shen instead of something else with more agency in top lane, or like any more defense or any more power at all. Because Shen's goal is to split push. Shen can't split push against Set. Doesn't matter.
And TSM, which did a very good job in the early game of saying, "Oh, we see that your Shen has went from top lane to bot lane. We're still gonna send 4 people to him. Yes. Why? Because there's a dragon up, and we're gonna make sure that he doesn't get a
because that's how you kill Shen. Shen has the 2 TPs in this game. So no one can help him.
Yep.
So you just kill Shen, and the game's over.
Yep. That's pretty much what they did. They executed on a good early game plan, even though C9 did fight back and managed to get a couple kills back, keeping it neck and neck for a while. But like I said, it didn't feel like C9 had the ability to actually, like, they didn't have a diverse enough comp with enough of a tool set to deal with the tools that TSM had.
I think their comp's too diverse. I think their comp doesn't have a single identity about what it wants to do. It's like parts of a pick comp, parts of a split push comp, and parts of a poke comp that don't really work together. I don't really know what Zoe's supposed to be doing in this comp.
I agree that Zoe pick feels out of place.
And I don't like putting Zoe and Shen in here. Just feel like what are we doing? We're not. We can't compete with their team fight, and we can't compete with their split push, and they also don't need to care about pick because they just death ball.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't.
Especially
really
when you
sense.
have the best team fighting bot lane. When
I'm
you
sorry,
have
Akabi
that
and Biofrost
Leona.
say hello.
Oh, Akabi was a beast that game. I will not take that away from Kabe. Kabe and
I think
Bio.
Bio was hard carry. Well, I don't want to say Kabe was playing bad, but I think Bio was the one making all the moves that game. Kabe just sort of landed all the shit.
Yeah, but he was playing Rakan. Of course he makes all the moves, bro.
What happened was later in the game, like, what was it? Biofrost overcommitted his ulti one time in that top lane, and then he never did it again. He was like, I can hold this ulti, and I can trust that Dardoch and Broken Blade will start the fight. I don't need to do that. I just need to stop C9's turn. And he held his ulti specifically for that reason.
He used it aggressively in like 2 team fights. He used it aggressively in the team fight right in front of Drake.
In the team fight right in front of Drake. I don't recall that one.
Not right. It's like
no. I do see the one where they didn't have any, when C9 didn't have any vision and they were just walking in.
I forget what started that engage.
I do want to look over that one more time. Because I am forgetting about it. I was paying more attention to the early game, and then afterwards it just looked like TSM had the better comp and could just win.
Well, TSM were better on their champions, I think. I don't think it was strictly the comp, but I think that they were just all more comfortable. And C9 were just out of their element, and top lane was
their bot lane
looked
looked pretty comfortable, and so did the Lee. I think it was just mid and top.
But yeah, but Nizzy should be really comfortable on Zoe. I'm not sure what it was.
No, I don't think he looked uncomfortable on Zoe. I think it wasn't a comp that was good for Zoe, or a comp that was good to have Zoe with, right? Like, he looks comfortable on Zoe typically. I just think that this time it happened to be an out of place thing, like you said.
I think I remember that dive you're talking about. It was the one where they kind of overstay top lane a little bit, and they try to dive Shen there, and then they kind of get engaged on and lose a couple people for it.
It was a 1 for 2 at the time because they committed so many ults before, like while the dive happened, and then afterwards C9 showed up and they were like, oh, Biofrost got picked off first and then died, and then afterwards they got Dardoch load and then picked him off as well. The
problem is when the TP comes in, they retreat back to the other side instead of walking through the turret to get back to their side. And they kind of get caught for that. What they could have done is walk through the turret and then kill Sven, and they would have been fine. But even here, they kind of make up for it a little bit.
Vulcan was already... It was Bio was walking over there, Sven was ulting the wave, and then Vulcan just caught Bio.
Yeah,
that was what initially happened.
Wasn't great, but I think what really happened is, like, what happens on set a lot is you'll go for the ultimate, and then in the charge time, they move, and your ult cast just goes somewhere random. Not random, but, like, it moves. And it's hard to control it.
Alright.
And then Bjergsen fails to grab this block properly.
Either way...
Could we ever forgive him for that? Of course, the answer is no.
Alright. So, like I said, I just want you to know, like, it's not all TSM playing great, because they did have a good game. I don't want to take that away from them, but it's really C9's draft to put them in a very hole. I really came in hard because I thought you'd fight harder for TSM.
Look, they did really good this game. They had amazing team fighting. They beat C9 in team fighting, where C9 has been beating everyone.
Yeah, I see that very apparently in the early game. Well, no, actually, that's not what I'm saying. I see C9 matching them in the early game, but the thing is that later in the game, when the team fightings get a bit different, where you still have 5v5s and you still have your 2 tank frontliners, like, it feels more like TSM has the bag for that edge for the team fights. Not that I want to take it away from their win from beating C9, because that's
I do want to take that away.
Let's move on to TSM versus FlyQuest.
I want to take it away mostly because I'm sad.
I know. You'll have to tell me about that one, because I did not pay attention that much too much. I was too busy analyzing the TSM versus T9 one. And also, I don't like watching my boys get beat.
He guessed it.
So
take me through this, Anthony. What happened?
So
First of all, first question.
FlyQuest let Broken Blade get set again.
Did they pick a tank into it?
No, I'm pretty sure they first picked Aphelios and then picked Aatrox into it.
Aatrox isn't necessarily bad into it, but
it's not. But here's the problem: Aatrox doesn't have a revive anymore. So do you know what can happen to Aatrox now?
He can just get CC'd to death.
No, he can get dove. So
touche.
So what TSM do is they dive top lane and kill Aatrox, and then they pick jungle Zac, and Zac shows up and they kill him too. This is probably the best dive I've seen all split, where they basically kill two people by starting a dive with Broken Blade ulting somebody out. They're like out of turret range. It was an amazing dive, and they get 2 kills on Aurelia, which basically means Aurelia is online for the rest of the game and will just school everybody.
Now I remember this game.
Better nerf Aurelia? Question.
No, because she's garbage, and it takes a lot to get her off the ground.
Better nerf Aurelia? Question mark.
I have disagreements, mostly from being a scarred AD carry for my brief amount of time.
That doesn't make sense.
So I honestly put a lot of this game's loss on them banning Tahm Kench instead of Set. I don't know why you banned Tahm Kench over Set when what ended up happening is Biofrost played Nautilus. Apparently that was a bad thing for him to have to play Nautilus instead of Tahm Kench, but
Bio's pretty good on Tahm TK.
I'm not saying he's bad, but he's also good at Nautilus, he's also good at Braum, he's also good at Bard, he's also good at freaking everybody.
The only thing that makes sense is they wanted to. And what was the AD carry that TSM was running?
They ran Misfortune.
The only thing that makes sense is that they wanted to get on the Misfortune. And what was their support in bot lane duo for FlyQuest?
They had Aphelios and Thresh. I don't know either.
Technically, they have the safer bot lane, but
a little.
That's
not
really, not by much. Not by much.
Not when Aurelia gets 2 kills early.
No, then after that, there's no saving it.
It's
Thresh becomes fodder.
It's not Thresh, it's Aphelios. She just goes right past him.
Pretty much everyone becomes fodder.
Take Aurelia to complete Trinity Force. Oh, there's a pause in this game.
It's crazy. Those are
there are 6 pauses in that game, Anthony.
Does he finish it? He finishes it somewhere around 14 minutes. I think he has the gold for it.
That's very interesting. Bjerg's had 2 pretty unique picks this week.
Unique?
In that, well,
the
Zilean, we kind of know. We know he plays Zilean, we know that. The Aurelia mid we haven't seen in quite some time.
I think some people have been playing it. It's just hard to pick it if you're not playing into someone who's immobile or doesn't have hard CC or hard click on CC for you. Like Aurelia against Orianna. Aurelia can move so much faster than Orianna can attack her. So it's just you just move around and she can't stop you. So
yeah,
it's a great matchup. And then they basically don't bother trying to kill Orianna because diving Orianna is a little bit hard. It's a little bit risky when she has so many different options and you're diving her, so your movements are predictable. But I just think it's wonderful to watch Bjergsen school people and not die all weekend.
That's just having flashbacks to when TSM was good.
It's this weekend.
The promised day shall come, Matt. What the TSM always comes back. You know this.
All right. Another thing that I do want to bring up is the O2 week for Team Liquid.
Wait. Before we move on to Team Liquid, I want to mention that Bjergsen went. What did he go? 7-0-5 on Aurelia and 7-0-11 on Zilean, meaning he has a 14-0 and 16 KDA And
for those two.
That earned him Player of the Week.
Yep.
So
it was well deserved.
Jurgensen, for carrying this boosted team.
Oh man. All right. Still moving
Your
on.
team is actually boosted. That's the first truth you've said so far.
I want.
I'm hoping he wins Player of the Week for the next 2 weeks and gets MVP just to shut everyone up. That would be amazing.
That would be. I'm trying to think of. No, every C9 player can still be in competition for that one.
No, I think there's a few people that have fallen down.
Like who?
Maybe
I
a
think
little.
Licorice is probably out. The argument for Ignar's fallen down. I think the only ones who people can make decent arguments for is probably Sven and Niski.
Sven for sure is up there.
I do not
Licorice
think
is still up.
People thinking Blabber is good. I don't want to say he's bad, but people thinking that he's a good candidate for MVP, I just think no fucking way.
I think if it's anyone, it's Sven on that team. Second, Niski. But Sven...
Niski seems to be the front runner for most people. I just want Bjergsen to start
he ain't die for like 9 weeks.
It was 4, I think. But either way...
He's got an insane KD.
4 plus 9 is 16, bro. What do you want from me?
Correct math, because that's 13.
It's 71.
Alright, let's talk about TL and how they went 0-2 this week.
That's a yikers.
So, alright, would you like to tell me how many objectives TL got? I mean neutral objectives. Dragons and Barons against CLG.
Turrets or no?
Against...
No turrets.
I want to say... I'm going to guess, and that's going to be 1.
They got 1? Okay. Matt, what do you want to guess?
I'm also going to guess 1.
Alright, well, they got 2. A Baron.
Fuck! I was gonna guess 2, but I thought Haymont was right. Fuck you,
and
Haymont.
an Infernal Drake.
Why do you think I'm right?
You a bitch!
This was a 50-minute slobber knocker. And CLG got four of the Elemental Drakes, getting Infernal Soul, and then 3 Elder Drakes. And then 2 Barons.
3 Elder Drakes. Well, you can't say that TL didn't put up a fight. 3 Elder Drakes is a lot.
I can and I can't because CLG were running Janatop.
That's kind of hard to close out a game with, to be honest.
Yeah. It's not. It's very easy. She's a bust.
I'm wondering how many times that both of these teams needed to throw this match for Powell to finally crack and be like, fuck this shit, I'm going in there, I'm gonna win this myself. He went 11-1-0 this game.
He was crazy.
Well, he's nuts. What do you want?
I wanted him to do this in the next CLG game, but we're not gonna talk about that this week.
Didn't he get just a triple behind the Dragon Pit?
That was one of his big plays. He was basically hard carrying them. This dude, the entire team has, what is that, 14 kills? He has 11 of them.
Yeah, and he's hit his Syndra just looks pretty goddamn amazing.
Syndra's real good when you have, what's that, Victor, and she has 3 targets to kill. And she can just ignore the 2 other people that aren't her target. Because outlaw buttons. Not
only that, he was knocked back. I don't remember who was playing that game. I want to say it was Tactical. Is this the first match or the second?
Tactical's the one's playing.
No, this is TL first. Yeah, this is Tactical. He knocked back Tactical in the middle of his MF ulti, like straight away, right off the bat, as soon as it gets started. That one I really liked because he was just like, "All right, here's your team fighting ulti. Stop. No,
get some help." No, either, because that didn't work out the second game. I don't know what's wrong with TL. I also don't know what's wrong with CLG.
They're losing a lot.
They are
becoming
losing.
a major problem.
Okay, so here's what I think is wrong with TL. I think Doublelift has regressed to old CLG Doublelift, and is now being the diva he is deep down inside, that we all know him to be.
Yep.
And you know what? I like that double lift, because that double lift wasn't on TS7. When he's not on TS7, I like to see it.
One of the best AD carries, all of a sudden losing all of his credibility in one split.
So, Travis Gafford played an interview he had with Doublelift last weekend, or this weekend, and Doublelift kind of threw the coaching staff under the bus with them. So it looks like Doublelift and the coaching staff are not getting along.
No, not at all.
Does Doublelift often get along with people when he's losing?
No.
No. That has not been one of his defining characteristics as a player.
So, my thought is, that Doublelift is going to spiral this team out of control.
Probably. He's probably been doing it for a while.
I think that this problem will not be solved now. I think, actually, there's something we have to get to after we talk about the matches this week and before the roster swaps. But the fact that they've moved up Summer Split will not help this, and it will in fact make it worse. Because they're not going to have as much time in between the end of the spring split and the summer split. Well, actually, if they don't make playoffs, they'll have at least a month to figure this out.
Yeah. I'm sorry for Broxa. He literally came from Fnatic and was like, yeah, it was kind of segmented, and I really wanted to go to a team and have that NA experience, and now he's in Team Liquid, and he's
getting the NA
This is part of the NA experience, fam.
Do you not remember Febvin? Do you remember what happened with him?
Yep, I do remember what happened to Febvin.
Remember Piglet?
Piglet was a... let's not reminisce too much on that. But once again, feeling bad for Broxa in this situation.
All right, so let's talk about TL versus IMT that happened last night, because holy shit, did TL look awful.
What's Doublelift in?
I don't know. I don't know what's wrong with Doublelift mentally. Like, I get it, he's unmotivated and thinks Spring Split doesn't mean anything, but at the same time, he can't show up anymore. He can't even play Misfortune. Get Cop in here. Cop played a mean-ass Misfortune.
Right, there were also 3 champions you could bring bot when he played Misfortune.
Mm-hmm. There's only like Philios, Dia, and Misfortune. Those are like the only 380 carries that are really.
People play Ezreal.
Ezreal's still feasible.
Senna, Varus, Ashe, and Kalista are basically the top picks. Lucian's been banned too much to be able to play.
Kalista, Varus sounds right. I think Senna went down in priority since her nerf.
No. Permaban.
She's still busted.
She's permaban.
She's still busted.
They play her support with a melee carry.
Oh, yes.
Well,
that's what's happened.
They play the AD carry plays her support.
EG has been doing that a lot. Well,
everyone's
been doing it.
Bang got 2 games on it. Last I checked. Was that what they played last night? No. But it's permaban. It's a permaban red side.
Okay.
So,
oh man.
Red side's gonna get freed up a little bit because they just took down Ornn's set a little.
Okay. I'm happy about that one.
But TL just looks so lost as a team. And why? Why do you pick Zac top into Renekton? They counterpicked this. This was last pick top lane. They picked Zac top.
Into Renekton?
Yes.
Are you telling me that they decided we're going to pick one of the champions with the worst early game, even in the jungle, as a top laner?
His early game was
hold on. Hang on, hold your fucking tongue.
He's very exploitable in that.
Yes, he is exploitable. That doesn't mean his early game is weak, though, because after he finishes his first clear, his ganks are monstrous.
Okay, that one's a fair one.
Calling Zac's early game weak is yikes for me.
Disrespectful.
Still, but okay, you're right. I used the wrong term for that one, but a very exploitable. And
short of Ica looking like garbage, TL looked so much worse. Ica tried to throw the game twice, and he couldn't because TL were just playing that badly.
And now you know how I feel whenever Turtle gets on there.
What?
Just sometimes, every once in a while, it just feels like he's trying to.
Turtle hasn't done that in a while.
Yeah, he hasn't. Hold on.
All right. Matt, what do you think of TL?
Zoinks mostly.
Zoinks?
Yeah, like no good, pal. I'm gonna think that I think so. I know last week what we talked about, Anthony, was the heck did we talk about? Tactical, whether or not he was gonna just perma start over double lift. His performance was not as stellar as last week, but I think it was still better than double lift. So I think the case is building that for at least the rest of this split, you start tactical. But I don't know. It's worrisome to see them at this point because they're supposed to be really good. And nothing so substantive has changed that makes me think they would be ass.
On paper, they have a contender for the best player in their role, but this split,
yeah,
I wouldn't put any of them really that high. Jensen's had some outstanding plays. Brox's looked okay. Impact's had a couple of good games, and Core JJ's had some good moments. Doublelift, I'm not putting him in top 5 AD carries right now. Like,
no.
What is he doing in this game? Oh my god.
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, this is a question that I might be getting a little bit ahead of myself with, but do you keep this roster for next split?
Yes. There's too much money in this roster to not keep it.
Okay.
And the ability to get a player to move between splits right now, absolutely zero. Given how hard it was to get a player at the beginning of the season with visa issues, and now that there is the coronavirus problem, there's no fucking way. No way in hell that they're going to be able to get a new player that isn't native to NA.
Okay. And then
I agree.
Next one is, well, I guess the same problem comes with the coaching staff. You can't really get someone else from another region. You'd have to go with the coaching staff that's nearby.
So I was talking to some people last night, and a lot of them. One of them was like really going into the coaching staff, and I'm just kind of like, I can't. I think that all the players are in line with the coaching staff for the most part, and it's mostly about doublelift. To me, all the communication and all of the like. The way that they've looked in game, it looks like doublelift is having such a slump and is being such a drain on the team environment that it's causing other issues to arise too. Mind you, the Zach pick is absolutely beyond me, but clearly I do not watch their scrims. I do not know that they've seen this thing win 5 times in a row. I don't know how you saw this win 5 times in a row, but apparently it might just. Oh my god, why didn't they pick anything else? Pick Poppy. Poppy here.
You're just a Poppy stan, though.
Don't tell me it's not the right pick.
I will throw out.
Of course, I won't tell you that because it is the right pick. However,
they might have been reading the same thing that EG was when they picked it for Kumo.
What was he playing it against, though? But Set, you can disengage Set better. Mind you, I don't think Zach ever gets an in on Set. Wait, didn't they play? No, they played at jungle, didn't? I don't fucking
know. No, they played a top lane. They played a top lane because it's supposed to be like the better team fighter, but they picked it into a set, and then Kumo never played Zach top again. I don't think that would have happened even if they won with Zach top, but the same never happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe they had the same read that EG was having. Something must have happened with Zach, or like the way that Zach plays, that people are willing to put a top lane, but
the idea is to combo him with Zoe, and when you get a Zoe stun, you just chuck Zach on the person who got Zoe stun, and you can kill them. But I don't fully buy into that at all. I think you're much better off putting him in the jungle. They could have just swapped Olaf and Zach here. Put Zach jungle. Olaf does good into Renekton. Olaf's level 2 against Renekton, level 1 against Renekton. It's crazy. Renekton can't kill him because he can't W his ultimate. So he just gets run over and over again. It's insane. But no, Zach top. I feel like that's kind of exemplary of how broken this team is that they picked Zach top.
It would have actually been pretty fine too, because while Olaf and Renekton both fall off about the same time, Renekton's still kind of the better team fighter, but they do both fall off.
Renekton has some better builds for late game. Soaz did not go it. He went a better tank build. which is a better mid game, a little bit better of a mid game build than I say. But the sustain build is much better for like dueling and like skirmishing. So I would have preferred that, to be honest. Like I love that build right now. It might even get better with the change to Death Dance Nest patch. And Blade of the Ruin King is an interesting pick for him now into some big tanks. But I just, who thought this works? And who counterpicks
It is
top
a
lane
really
with
dumb
Zac?
idea.
Who counterpicks top lane with Zac?
It's
TL.
Apparently. All right, let's move on to the MSI news that came out a few hours ago.
what's happening with that one?
Oh, big
MSI
news.
has been moved to June, Haymont, because
July.
of the coronavirus. July, because of the coronavirus.
July.
And they have moved up most summer split start times to a lot for that 2-week time slot.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
So-
read the fucking article.
It's going to, instead of it happening at the end of the split, it's going to happen in the middle of a split. Is what you're saying.
Yes. They're putting it basically where Rift Rivals went.
Makes sense. Are they planning on dropping Rift Rivals?
Yep.
Yes. Rift Rivals is dead.
Okay. Okay.
At least for the year.
So LCS starts on May 16th. That's when they'll start back up after concluding 1, 2, 3. Somewhere around April 14th, I think, is when we conclude. No, I think we conclude a week after that. So we basically have 3 weeks or 4 weeks in between the end and start of the split. So what's your thoughts? Do you think that we're actually still gonna have MSI when that happens? And how good is it gonna be?
They have to say,
I think it's strongly dependent upon how bad this epidemic gets.
Yeah. I think they're still going to hold MSI regardless. It's just a matter of, I don't know if they have a location or anything figured out.
The location is TBA. It's probably gonna be in NA.
Probably.
But who knows? I think what they're trying to do right now is decide if they want to do it in NA or in EU, depending on which one responds better or is in a better position at the time. But it's going to be like impossible for them to tell because they have to be able to give us a date or a location within the next month, I think. But I can't. Well, their emergency plan is to host it at one of the studios, I guess.
Is LCS still having live audiences?
Yes. They stopped doing high fives, but they still have live audiences. LCS is only a 300 band stadium, so there can't be more than 400 people in that entire building at a time.
Okay.
I know. I wonder if at any point they're going to change that if it gets worse.
Well, they'll probably try not to.
I think that's true, but I mean, like, even the NBA is prepping for, like, empty stadiums for games.
I mean, Monday Night League has a limited audience. Like, you can't buy tickets for it. It's only by invite. Or if you're, like, connected, I bet. If you, like, know somebody, you can probably just stop by.
Also, the Korean games are still going on.
No,
but
LCK is shut down.
Okay, in that case, I might have just caught that.
LPL started online scrims. That's the change. LCK stopped. LPL is now doing some scrim shit, which is interesting, but
you have to keep informed sometime. You can't have them too long on a break.
They're all still scrimming. They were all still scrimming the whole time, I bet.
Probably.
The real problem is some of them are like, I think there's some teams in Beijing, there's some in Shanghai. I think most of them are in Shanghai, and then there's another city I don't remember that has them. I don't know. I'm not familiar with where all the Chinese stadiums are because I think they have like 4 stadiums now. RNG, LMQ, not LMQ. that's the Chinese team that came to NA. RNG,
I was gonna say, Anthony, you're tripping.
LGD, and EDG, I think, have stadiums. I'm not too sure about the last one. And then there's one like multi-purpose stadium that they have.
Okay.
But, I question how good this is gonna be. I question if every team is gonna be able to make it to MSI come MSI. Like some places might still have travel bans for their quarantines and shit.
Well, if it's in July, I think that's strongly dependent upon how long the epidemic lasts, right? Like, if we see a really hard turnaround
Cut out.
Sorry, if we see like a hard turnaround time of say like 3 months, then come July, most places would be done. It would be over already, right? But if it ends up lasting way longer than that, who?
I'm betting on this being a gigantic asterisk of a year. I think some teams, even if not all, if not most of them, won't be able to end up going to most of the international events. I think this might have a second come around in the fall again, which will definitely impact Worlds.
What do you mean a second come around?
It happened back with the Spanish flu, where it waned a lot in the summer and it kind of looked like it stopped. So everyone kept traveling, and it had an exacerbated response come fall.
Oh, I think the difference is I don't know if maybe, but I think that with all the travel bans and the extreme measures a lot of countries are taking, that may be less likely to happen, right? Because we have countries like shutting down real early, which isn't bad because it slows the spread, but it also might, it's good because it slows the spread, and it might mean we don't get something like that happening, basically.
Yeah, none of us.
I
are
don't know.
experts.
I'm not an epidemiologist.
Yeah, none of us are experts in this field, so don't take.
Or even close. I'm also not especially well informed.
All right. What was the next topic? Oh, actually, let's just go over what happened with our picks this week, because oh boy, was it a massacre!
Yeah, it was a very weird week.
Yeah, this was quite the upsetting week. Me and Matt called one of them. Actually, I called two of them. Matt called one of them.
Hey, I called one too. I called.
Okay.
Well, one was one, and the second one was like a reasonable one.
You did call one of them, but yeah, the 100 Thieves Dig game. When you actually look at the Dig slump, that's not an upset. That's just what might happen.
Oh no, I was talking about the IMT versus DL.
You didn't call IMT. Wait. Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm sorry. I was thinking about the 100 Thieves one. Yeah, but that's your only one you called. I got two. You got one. I'm not counting the C9. I'm not counting the C9 one because that was expected.
Yeah, the C9 one's always.
So yeah, I like that actually this weekend. I like when things get interesting and you get some upsets. It really shakes up the standings a little bit. I'm sad Dig is getting screwed so hard, but at the same time, they're getting closer to where I put them in my power rankings. I'm glad about that.
You're an ass.
I mean, yeah, Dig's getting put down, but hey, look at DLG.
Oh. Did you see?
That's where the turnaround comes.
I think I linked this to you guys, but did you see that there was like Weldon finds a genie and he wishes for a former world champion to join his team and he gets crowned.
Oh.
And then he wishes
the second best
LOL.
wish genie.
Oh my god. And then he wishes for to be one place below TL. And now TL are looking like they're gonna finish out of playoffs.
Yeah, that's really funny. I don't think you linked that, or if you did, I didn't see it, but that's really funny.
Oh my god, if anybody goes and looks up the second best genie TLG, holy shit is it funny. It was in I think it was the TLCLG thread from before? Or I don't remember. It was one of the TL or CLG threads. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about some roster swaps, speaking of threads. Alright, so let's start off with Dignitas, who have swapped in Acadian for Grig. What do you think about Acadian this weekend? Everyone seems to think in one of the games he looked pretty good. I thought he was okay. He didn't stand out to me. And then in the second game versus Golden Guardians, he looked, hey. That was a yikes. Big yikes.
Grig, while still sometimes making mistakes for Dignitas, every once in a while, it was better. Like, overall. During this play,
I think Grig looked more consistent than Acadian, even when he was on TSM. That's always what I thought about him. And Acadian did seem to have higher highs, but I don't know why you make this swap. Your team's falling apart, and Grig never looked like it was the issue. Their bot lane went from one of the best up and coming AD carries to this looks like the worst bot lane in the league.
Yeah, it was a really big switch. It was a really big flip, and with everyone saying Johnson was great, and then now, well, if he was great, he can't really show it because Afromu's trying to flex on people when he can't really flex on people.
Afromu looks bad.
Yes, Afromu looks
They look
bad.
real bad. I think Afromu needs to fucking retire.
It's about that time.
Well, he looks like to be the drain on Dignitas at the moment, but I don't know what's happening behind the scenes. I can't fully answer that question. They don't have problems like TL does, where it's really clear there's a problem with their AD carry.
How's Froggen been?
He's been okay. He looked better at the beginning of the split, but they had a really looking at the standings now. They actually had a really weak starting line, or what is it called? Strength of schedule at the beginning of the split. So they kind of got off to that really hot start, and then they played Cloud9 and they got crapped on, and now we really see where they are. But now they're actually falling below where everyone thought they were going to settle.
Yeah, everyone thought they were going to be like probably middle-ish, maybe bottom-ish, but not. Actually, I don't remember what my initial picks were, but I don't think I had them that highly rated.
We all had the same bottom 3 picks. I think it was Dignitas, EG, and FlyQuest. Oh, Nate, did you put... Or not EG, GG, Dignitas, and FlyQuest, I think were all of our bottom 3 teams. Unless Haymon put them higher.
No, I don't think I was rating FlyQuest that high at the time, which I'm happy has come back to me. Never
been happy to be wrong, have you?
Yes. And it's for the... How can you not like trees, bro?
That marketing campaign is real fucking good for them.
Yeah, especially when they were winning with it.
So we kind of talked about this a little bit, but Doubles got swapped out for Tactical. How have we been feeling about Tactical specifically? Do we think he's good? Do we think he's bad? Is he competent? Matt, what do you think about Tactical as the resident AD carry?
Well, he's better than I am.
Thank you for that.
Yep.
You're welcome. That's just the God's honest truth right there. What do I think about Tactical? I think he is... When Doublelift's in his prime, he's not as good as Doublelift. But I also think Tactical might be a better choice at the moment than DL.
It seems like
it's hard to tell.
Yeah. It seems like TL has a better thought process when they have Tactical on board. At least with the game that... With the first weekend where they had that 2-0 with them being in there, where it felt like something really clicked. It's just a matter of making sure that you can actually keep to that, keep on coming up with strategies to make it work, and, have a clear shot.
I might attribute that to, like, the honeymoon effect a little bit.
I understand.
But it seems like they had to call in Doublelift to play scrims, when they really didn't want to call him in to play scrims this week because Tactical had to play Academy games. So I kind of question whether that alone is what kind of screwed them this weekend. If that playing those scrim game, he played 3 scrim blocks, he said, and if playing those really kind of set off the team for this weekend, I can see that happening. So I think they should say, Doublelift, you're going to be benched for the rest of the split unless we make playoffs. And then we'll reevaluate then. And we're going to play Tactical until the end. I think if they say that, and they run... who do they have for their... They have Rikara for their Academy AD carry now. I think he's available. I think he's playing with them now, because I feel like he wasn't last week, and that's why this happened. But I think that's the play they have to make. I think they have to tell Doublelift to sit down, regardless of how motivated he feels, play solo queue for the entire week, or for the entire 3 weeks left, and then we'll reevaluate for playoffs. What do you guys think? Is that their move? Do they?
I think that's like a solid move.
I also agree. That seems pretty solid.
All right, so let's move on to talking about CLG's roster moves, where they've taken out Crown for POB, and they've taken out Stick Safe for Wind. Now,
I don't know about that.
Yeah, I think one of these was a great move, because given what happened to Crown after they took him out, probably the only move they could have made. And then I don't fully understand the Stixay for Wind move. Clearly there's some other shit going on, but Stixay looked better than Wind to me. Wind did not stand out to me at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't. The POB was definitely an upgrade.
POB brought so much more life to this team. POB wants to win. Crown didn't care, and it looks like Crown had a lot of problems with like outside of game and outside of team stuff, like normal life shit that was bothering him.
Yeah.
And given that he was released, means that they probably mutually agreed to terminate the contract, and he's probably going to go take a break.
That makes a lot of sense. Crown has been a very emotional player throughout his entire career. A lot of things get.
You can tell the emotional players by how many games of Malzahar they have to play to win Worlds.
Oh man, but Poe Belter really came in. He made this team resurge. It was great to see him on there, and they put Ruin on a support top lane, which has maybe not so secret, but has been one of the ways that have really made this team work as well. You can't get caught out if you always have to be with the team.
So the game that CLG lost this weekend is when they put Ruin on Gangplank into Jace. Now, I don't know if you know this, but Jace destroys Gangplank because his W lets him kill barrels before Gangplank can even bother. You can just wait for the first one to tick down and then hit W and auto twice and it's dead.
Yeah.
So, I don't see why they picked that. He didn't do too bad in lane, but I don't know. Also, this is about Poe Belter and Wind. I still don't think Wind's that amazing. He looks worse than Stixay to me. And even like they beat TL, but they beat TL when TL was like in their own head. It's like it's not.
Yeah.
It's like beating CLG before they switched over to Poe Belter. It's not a challenge. No one really should be like getting a pat on the back for this.
I don't know. I want to see more games from Wind. Maybe he gels a little bit better from the team with the team, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know what about Wind is why they pick him.
Maybe Stixay just needs a break. Hopefully he comes back. But
right.
I don't.
All right, on to Matt's favorite roster move of the split.
Let's get it.
Keith has been swapped out for Huhi. What do you think this has changed about Golden Guardians?
Oh, nothing. Fundamentally nothing.
Fundamentally nothing, he says.
It went from an 80 carry support
that is what I
to
said,
a mid lane support.
Hey, they beat Dignitas though. Come on.
I will give who he did have a very clean set support. Okay, you can't take that away from him. You cannot take that away from him.
Yes, you can.
I can. I really can.
Ah, man.
Set's kind of uber broken, and you can just stack health on him and then get a like 800 true damage W. So, just saying.
Who he best in the league right now.
This man.
Don't mention. You don't need to mention anything else. Nothing. No more facts or figures or anything. No, who he best set support.
We don't need to worry about no facts. We just bogged down in truth, dog.
We just need to accept.
I think this is honestly super counterproductive for them because I think sticking to Keith would have been a better plan. Keith has been looking better and better every week, and putting him on high engaged supports, high agency supports has seemed to work for them. So I don't know why you would swap him and kind of deviate your strategy. Again, this looks like something that's affecting or that has to do with their practice, but like, how the hell is Huhi better than Keith? On what planet?
That's why I said fundamentally nothing, Anthony.
Yeah.
Like, why is this an upgrade? This doesn't seem like an upgrade. This is like the fucking TSM move all over again. It's not an upgrade. Stop doing it.
I have no clear analysis on this, except for maybe they're trying to get like, I don't know, next split.
I don't know, maybe they're trying to swap supports for playoffs that they're borderline getting into.
Maybe.
He says. All right. We have one more roster swap that I think everyone's going to have an agreement on. Alltech swapped out for Apollo. What has this changed about? Was this Immortals, right?
Immortals, indeed.
No, this is CLG.
Okay. So what has this
No,
changed about
this
Immortals?
is Patrick.
No, that's Patrick.
God damn it! Answer the question.
Sorry, what's the question?
What has swapping out Alltech for Apollo changed about Immortals?
This is Patrick.
No longer put Alltech on Cassiopeia bot. The one
That's
time
true,
that
because
it
he's
did
not there.
happen.
You know what? I think I'm gonna make a bold statement and say this ain't changed jack shit.
I think you're right.
This is the
Pretty
same
much.
exact team. I think forever I've always confused Alltech and Apollo, just because they.
I haven't. They're very
the
different.
same.
However,
Are they?
yes.
Okay. All right. I think that's it for our roster swaps. Those last two are real.
Well,
big
what's Haymon
nothing
think
breaker.
about this one?
Haymon, what do you think about this one?
I'm gonna miss Alltech a bit. His Ezreal games earlier in the split, nice.
Every pro can play Ezreal though.
Every pro can.
Apollo can't play Ezreal. I don't know why they.
Every pro AD carry.
It's one of the safest AD carries out there. But at the time when Immortals was like the only one picking it earlier on the split, when Senna and Aphelios were the two AD carries that you had to get all of the time, he looked good on Ezreal. Right? So once again, I'm just going to miss him a tad. That's all. There's insight in there. That's all.
All right. Before we get into our picks for next week, what do you guys think about them canceling Rift Rivals?
I think it's fine given the changes they had to make to MSI.
I don't mean in the context with MSI. I mean in general. What do you think about them canceling?
Well, is it
Rift
forever
Rivals?
canceled?
Yes. Well, for the imminent future, Rift Rivals as it was is canceled.
Well, that's a bummer. I thought it was just this year because of the because of the virus, but
after last year, they had downsized it a lot. They had Rift Rivals for like every region, not every major region had one, and then all of the smaller regions even had one. Like, who played? Was it Japan and OCE? Brazil, Latin America South, and Latin America North played. Turkey, CIS, and one other played. I think it was Garena. And then you had LMS playing in LPL and LCK. So I'm gonna miss that. I like those little like showy matches. I don't think that time slot was the place to do that. For me, to be honest, I think if you were gonna do that, you should probably replace All Stars with that, and then put All Stars where that was. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe put All Stars after MSI or before MSI. I don't. The schedule's complicated because we play for 9 goddamn months out of the year. Why is this game so effing long? I'm gonna miss it, but I can see a lot of the reason why it's gone. It wasn't super beneficial for anybody.
I agree.
Hey, Mont, you gonna miss Rift Rivals?
Not necessarily. I don't know.
Traitor!
EU apologist. You just want them to keep that title.
I just want them to keep it up.
Filthy animal. You fucking slime.
Ah, man.
I'm so sorry.
That's alright.
So yeah, you're gonna be sad that it's gone. What was your favorite part about Rift Rivals? What'd you like?
My favorite part, the thing that I liked, was a show match unrelated to Rift Rivals.
Which one?
It was Canada versus the US. That was the most enjoyable thing that I think of, and I really wish that they would bring that in once again.
That was a funny ass show match. I agree.
I agree.
Alright, let's get into
having totally avoided the question, let's continue.
Let's get into our picks for next week. Hey, Ma, why don't you take this one?
Are you sure you don't want to take this one? We did match.
That's why I'm giving it to you, because you have quite the outlandish pick this week.
Alright, so quite the outlandish pick is currently picking Dignitas over CLG, which actually, as I'm saying it, is pretty outlandish.
Yeah, obviously you fucking.
This is why I'm having you do this, Amont.
Well,
how many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
normally I would have some sort of apologist statement that would say that Dig would not win this match. I can't even really give you an apologist statement. Right? I can't really figure out how Dignitas magically makes these sparks fly and all of a sudden gets together and all with Afromu, with Johnson, with Acadian or Greg, whichever one may be there that week. It's kind of bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I would like to change it back. I don't. Oh my god.
He's finally getting it, Anthony.
I've committed too much to this, all in the sake of spite.
Anthony, he's finally understanding.
Anyhow,
It might have taken him a very long time, but he's finally coming to get it.
Don't worry, because I'm sure he's going to be right, because of course he's going to be right. And you know what else is going to be right?
Normally,
I am going to be right, because CLG is going to take down Cloud9. Don't at me. They're going to put Stixxay back in. Cloud9 will continue to pick stupid shit like so.
And Stixxay's going to get clapped by Zaven. What are you talking about?
Hell no. They're going to pick Shen top again, and then Shen's going to get clapped for the next 20 minutes.
I want you.
Who is going to clap on that fucking CLG roster?
There's one thing that I'm a little bit scared of from C9, and it's the fact that they no longer have a streak to care about, which means this can go to be extremely stellar, or this will go to be extremely bad. At least in the coming weeks, they don't have to worry about a streak and can try out whatever they want to do with a roster that has a lot of potential and has to work very well together from the beginning to the middle of the split.
They have locked first place.
They have locked first place.
They don't locked first.
So they don't have to care. They could walk out
CLG has locked first.
Oh, CLG. My bad. FlyQuest locked first. My bad. I know my bad.
FlyQuest locked last.
So I'm expecting Cloud9 tomorrow afternoon to come out and say, "Hey, we're gonna put in our academy team for the next 2 splits or 2 weekends." Because
two splits,
yeah.
2 splits.
It stops being an academy.
They don't even have
them in for a whole split. Just saying. But,
and also 2 splits.
But here's the thing: they've done this before.
Yeah, they have done this.
Actually, put in their academy team for 2 weekends in a row before. At the end of the split.
Also, they don't have to worry about MSI practice. At least not that as soon as it would be.
Well, they still have a month and a half before MSI, even if they were to have to go there if they won. They would just... I don't know. I don't know why you would really do that, because you're not going to go to MSI until July, and you're better off just putting your players on stage and just playing it out, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, they need to have a good plan to get more value out of their, like, not having to waste, I don't want to say waste, but not having to spend the time on those weekends prepping for LCS for that team.
Mm-hmm.
And if they think giving the academy team that kind of practice is good, it maybe, but it's not like they had the academy team they had last year where they had Golden Glue and Blabber, Svenskeren, and Kumo. Like, all these players are in the LCS now. Who was their support? It used to be Zazol, and now it was
Diamond.
Diamond was the support. What was their AD carry?
I don't remember.
No clue.
But like, you see what like they had Dignitas Academy. Now Dignitas Academy is the LCS team that should be in there.
Yep.
I can see them doing it. I don't think they will, but I think it would be funny.
Crazy idea.
Alright, so what
Academy appears in the game.
Oh my god, they might do that. Hang on.
What might they do that?
They might just hard swap out their entire roster. Dignitas. That might happen.
XD.
That's possible.
I don't think they win.
Hang on, no. Little do we know, swapping out Acadian for Greg was to see if Greg actually meshes with the academy team. Therefore, this next 2 weeks they can put in the academy, and then they play them and win 4 games in a row. That's the fucking game. Okay.
We have went too far down the rabbit hole.
We're getting out of the rabbit hole. We're going back up to what everyone's match to look forward to this weekend is. Matt, what are you looking forward to? CLG versus C9? I thought so. What?
Okay. I just
caught him off guard so hard.
I just don't like you. Let's see. I don't even. There don't seem to be that many like ones that I'm super amped on.
Yeah.
Matt, stop fucking with the dog.
I'm on push to talk. It's just gonna put a bunch of tildes in the thing. I gotta do a thing.
And now you deleted it. Matt, what game are you looking forward to?
Oops. That's not what I meant to do.
Come on.
We're having the Britney karaoke now.
I'm fucking thinking.
I
really don't
All
know.
Right. Hey, Mom, which match are you looking forward to?
Both of the EG matches.
Both of the EG matches.
I've enjoyed what the coaching staff's been doing with them. They've had some times where they've earnestly like won the game for EG from draft.
Fuck it, I'm excited to see TSM lose to GG. No, I'm kidding. Sorry, keep going, Amon.
So I just want to see what they're going to play against TL and against Dignitas. I really all I care about is the draft there, and then seeing whether EG can execute on it or not. That's the big thing for me. Because if they can't execute on it, then what's the point of having a good draft? You know.
I'm looking forward to IMT versus TSM because I'm pretty sure they're both neck and neck in the standings at the moment. Like I know TSM's second actually, but I think they're tied for third. Check out my standings real quick. No, they're tied for fourth actually. Sorry, never mind. But I'm still looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be a good match.
Okay.
I think
I'm also looking forward to CLG beating C9. He doesn't like that I speak the truth.
Fuck you. Fuck your whole fucking thing, dude. I'm ready to see TSM get clapped out by GG. I'm ready to see TSM get clapped out by IMT. I'm very ready to see GG fucking clap TL.
I want to see TL lose these matches. That pushes them out of playoffs.
It's so sad that it's very convincing that GG beats TL.
It's not. I wouldn't say that's convincing.
I would say it's at least like a good. Not even a
50-50.
It's a good. Like,
more.
Yes, we are, and I think rightfully so.
I think that is the argument. Looking at both teams' performances, I don't think it's that big to say GG or TL would win this. But looking at TL's trajectory and team atmosphere that we are seeing, it looks like that's gonna be a GG open and shut case.
Okay, that's a fair one. Ah, man.
So I think EG are just a better team right now. TL
GG
for a rough day. EG are better than TL.
Yeah, I agree with that one. There's.
I'm just
there.
Watching TL lose is just gonna make me feel so good. I'm gonna be sad they're not gonna finish fourth, but who knows?
Ah, man. If they make a sudden comeback, and this is which week are we in?
If they win out, well, they had to play C9 in the last week, so I don't think they're gonna win that. But if they want to make playoffs, not. I'm pretty sure they're required to win all three of their other matches because they're all against teams that they're fighting for those spots. And then they have to play into losers. I think they're barred from top 4. Let me see.
No chance of the 4 meme happening.
Technically not. TL has 6 wins and second place has 4, so they're not barred from top 4. But I still think they're gonna fall out. I'm banking on it. Come on, TL, don't make playoffs. That's it. I'm sad GG aren't making playoffs though. Oh, Hamon, you had CLG at like 3rd or 2nd in your power rankings.
I did have them.
I'm looking forward to Week 9.
I had 100T super high up there.
I'm looking forward to week 9. Week 9 is going to be a good time when we review our power rankings and we get to flame each other for our stupid ass picks.
Oh
boy.
god, I've got too many hierarchy teams up there.
Alright, we're out of topics. Unless anyone
Is
else
that,
has anything. Hang on, let
Do you wanna?
let me double check the subreddit in case I missed something.
Wise given the last couple weeks.
Does not look like actually LEC Fantasy League closed beta is happening.
LEC Fantasy League.
For the
Okay.
LEC.
Don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't care about that at all. Yeah, looks like it's about it.
You want to take us home?
Yeah, I think I'll take us on home. Let me just take this
Okay.
real quick. That'll do it for this week on the Legendary Lelands podcast. Come check the VODs on the YouTube channel Legendary Podcast. Check the VODs or to check the. I'm gonna say this. All right, that'll do it for this week. That'll do it for this week on the Legendary Lelands podcast. Check the VODs on the YouTube channel Legendary Podcast. Check us every Tuesday at 8 p.m. On twitch.tv/Nizzy2K11. And have a nice time watching TL slide further and further down the cliff.
XD.
TM's gonna lose 2 in a row. Good night.